This is our diverse discussion on accessing Libby and other Denver public library resources. I'm not going to go into too much. I welcome you all into 2025 and the new year, and I look forward to many more of these discussions with all of you, and hope you'll join monthly. We always have something new to put out there in our diverse discussions and little talks. This is a webinar, so everyone is muted. Their screens are also, I guess not muted, not showing. If you have any questions, always put those in the chat. I'll keep an eye on them. As I mentioned to Elizabeth and Jane earlier, I also have many questions, so I might just be chiming in because I'm very excited to learn more and make sure I know how I should be accessing the library properly. So I'm really not going to say much more other than to introduce Elizabeth, who is our older adult services librarian, and Jane, who is our library program associate. And I'm just going to hand it over to them to go ahead and get started. I'm going to darken my camera. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tanya. Jane and I are very excited that A Little Help invited us to share Denver Public Library resources with all of you. So thank you for that. I'm going to begin by talking about Libby, our app for accessing electronic media, and then Jane is going to step in and talk about other library resources. So
see you all at the end. I'm going to move out of the way.
So this is Libby on the screen. That is the icon that you will see on your device when you have it downloaded. So our objectives today are to help everyone attending the presentation to understand how to install and access Libby on your device, no matter what that device is, to be able to browse the library's digital collection, place holds on items and check them out, understand the wait lists, checkout, and lending periods for e-media, and understand and use the features of digital materials. You may have heard of Libby. If not, you may be wondering just what is Libby. It's a free app for reading electronic books, electronic audiobooks, and electronic magazines on your electronic device. We call them ebooks, e-audiobooks, e-magazines for short. But essentially, it's all electronic media identical to what you would read if you checked out a physical copy of the item from your library. So what do you need in order to access digital materials from a public library? You need a library account, a device that can connect to the internet. If you want to use Libby on a smartphone or a tablet, you would want your device to be from the last 5 years or so. You may have much newer devices. You also will need the Libby app. You may be wondering just what kind of materials you can check out from the library. Using Libby, you can check out ebooks. As I said, these are identical in content to those of printed books. The only difference is you're reading them on a screen. You can borrow audiobooks. I love the audiobooks. That's what I use the most. Sometimes they're read by wonderful narrators. Other times they're performed books with a very large cast of performers. It's very much the same as listening to books on CD or tape. You may have used those or still use them. The only difference is they're electronic on your device. And then we also have electronic magazines. As far as loan periods go for Libby, materials ebooks and e-audiobooks, check out for 3 weeks, just the same as if you had the physical book or audio in your hands. And they automatically download when you're connected to Wi-Fi. So that's very nice. You can go into Libby and set it. You can either ask it to notify you when it's available so you can start the download, or you can set it up to automatically download your book when it's available. Magazines can also be downloaded, but they don't automatically download. You just have to do a click or two for that. And then if there's a magazine that you particularly like, you can subscribe to it through Libby so that it automatically notifies you when there are new magazines available. I like that feature and use it for some of the magazines that I like to read, but might not always remember to go into Libby and see if there's a new issue. So I am notified when there is a new copy. So to install Libby, as I said, you can install Libby on any of your devices. If you have an Apple device, you just go into the Apple App Store. If you have an Android phone, you go into Google Play. And if you have Amazon Fire tablets, then you go to the Amazon App Store. If you prefer to read on your laptop or PC, Libby is available for Windows, Mac, and Chromebooks by going to libbyapp.com. And for an example, these are all clickable in the presentation. But if we were to click into libbyapp.com, okay, because I have done that before on this computer, it's taking me right into my account instead of the logon page that I was hoping to show you, but that's okay. We'll come back to this. I think if I go into Google Play, it's going to do the same thing, but we'll come back to this. I just wanted you to be able to see that the app is available on every device that you might use. It just varies in where you download the app. So I've been with Denver Library 18 years, and I often recommend Libby to customers. And sometimes they'll say, oh, I prefer to read the book, or I prefer the book on CD. And that's fine. I do that too. But there are advantages to e-media. Sometimes you can get a book, either the electronic book or audio, immediately on the e-media where there might be a wait list for the physical book. So sometimes it's just nice to have this additional way of accessing materials. For ebooks, you can adjust the size of the text so it's more comfortable for you to read. Maybe some of the books that you check out from your library, the text is a little bit small. It can vary quite a bit, but you don't really want large print yet. With an ebook, you can choose the size of the font so that it's comfortable for you. So that's a strong advantage. There are no late fees. Denver Public Library did stop charging late fees for materials a few years ago, but some library systems still do. So if you have a library card from other systems that charge fees, you might want to consider using Libby to get your materials to avoid those late fees. And when you're done reading your book, magazine, or audio, they return themselves. You don't have to worry about driving to the library to return them. They automatically return, except for Kindle books. Those you do have to go into your Amazon account and return with just a click or two. If you don't return them, that's okay. They will time out at the end of the checkout period. It's nice if you can return it when you're done because then it makes the item available for someone who may be waiting. So let's say you place an item on hold. How long will it remain on hold? You've received a notification in Libby or through your email saying, your hold is ready. How long do you have to download and open that hold? You have 3 days, and it's to the minute. I have learned this the hard way. When you get that notification, let's say you get it on Sunday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you don't have until midnight on Tuesday. You have from whatever time you got it on Sunday through 3 days later. So that's important. I tend to download my materials right away or within a day just so I don't miss the hold and have to go back on the wait list. If you miss the window, okay, you'll get a 7 day grace period. And when the title is available again after 7 days, you'll need to check it out right away to defer delivery. If you get that notice that a book is ready for you to check out and you're not ready for it because you just got two other ones and you don't want to read 3 books at once, you can go in and say to deliver it at a later date. And you're allowed, there's a little slide rule, and you can choose 7 days, 14 days, 21, 28 days. You probably can choose other numbers of days, but it automatically defaults to those. So you have a lot of control over when that book will be ready for you to check it out without having to go back on the hold list.
Elizabeth, can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
When you say like you'll be notified, are those notifications like coming through the app? Are they coming into an email? Where are we seeing some of these notifications or your time is up or you're the 3 days, whatever?
So you will be notified in the Libby app and also in your email. I get the notifications in both places.
Okay.
And your e-media, I should say, your e-media account is separate from your regular library account. If you go to our website, you can
Okay.
look up the physical materials that you have checked out
Uh-huh.
through your account, but you also set up an e-media account.
Got it.
And it's through that you enter your email address and it knows where to notify you. So depending on whether you're in Libby a lot or you're in your email more, you should get that notification in both places, but you might see one before the other.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm going to monopolize for a minute. So that does bring me to another question. So while you
Sure.
were chatting, I went ahead and downloaded the Libby app on my phone. But I did notice it does ask if you have a library card. I said no. I probably had one ages ago, but who knows? So it does. I do need to go and visit a local branch to actually get that started. Is that correct? To get an actual library card?
To get the physical card, you do need to visit a library branch, but
Okay.
there's also the option of getting um, do you remember what we call the temporary card? Might be called an e-card. Through our
Okay.
website, you can apply for a library card.
Okay.
That's kind of a temporary card.
Okay.
Um, and then when you're able to, you can come into the library and get that physical card.
Okay, that is great to do. I guess I was just thinking too, certainly there may be some people where it is harder to get into the actual physical library. So if there was a way they could kind of get things started without going into the physical library, and that would be possibly on the website.
Yes,
Okay.
actually, if you look on the Denver Library website, if you look up Denver Library Card, it should be the first link on
Okay.
the browser. But it is called an e-card and they expire quicker than the physical card, but it's still 4 years. And it only, if you don't have a Denver library address, then you'd need the physical card to access Libby. But if you live in the city and county of Denver, you can use the e-card to sign up for Libby as well.
Okay, great. Thank you. That is fantastic. All right,
Yes.
I will let you continue on.
No, thank you. Thank you for the questions. Okay, how long are you allowed to check out the digital materials? Most ebooks and e-audiobooks check out for 21 days, which is the same as the physical materials from a library building. They can automatically download again when you're connected to Wi-Fi. And they usually return automatically unless you're using your Amazon Fire. Then you have to return them by clicking into Libby and saying, well, clicking into Amazon and saying that you want to return them. If you're not quite done with something that you're reading or listening to, excuse me, you are able to sometimes renew them up to 3 days before the end of the lending period. If there is a wait list and you can't renew it, Libby will tell you that, but you can try to renew it if there are no other users on the wait list. If there are, you would just place yourself on hold again. And one feature of Libby that I absolutely love is when you get the title back, let's say you tried to renew it, but you couldn't because there was what somebody else was waiting for it. And then you get the book back a week or two later. Libby will begin where you previously stopped reading. So if you're in an ebook, it will go back to the page you left off on. If you're listening to an audiobook, it goes right back to where you stopped, which I personally love because sometimes I'm reading multiple books and I don't want to write down I left off on chapter 22, page such and such. So all I have to do is open the book and it's ready to go. So that's a wonderful feature of Libby. You may be wondering how many books you can put on hold at one time. And when I say book, I mean audiobooks as well. And how many items can you have checked out at one time? Well, you can have 20 items checked out at once. So you could have 10 ebooks, 5 audiobooks, and then you could have 5 magazines. You can also have up to 15 holds in your Libby account at one time. These numbers do occasionally change, but it's been a while since they have. So that currently you can check out 20 loans and have 15 holds at one time. Another advantage to Libby is you can not only use your Denver library card, but if you have a card from Arapahoe, Aurora, Littleton, any library system that you have a card, if they have the Libby app offered as well, you can use all of those cards in Libby. So other library districts may have different lending periods than Denver does. You can check with each one and you can either get a card at the other library systems, or if you already have one, just ask for their pamphlet on loan periods and then you'll have that information. I also want to add before I go to the next slide, in case anyone doesn't know, if you are a Colorado resident, you are able to obtain a public library card from any public library in Colorado. A lot of people know that, but people moving here from other states, some states have the requirement that you have to live in a specific physical area. And that's not true for Colorado. You can get a public library card from any public library in Colorado. So you can collect them as you travel throughout the state. Okay. Jane, can you move this for me again? So there are a couple of other features to Libby that I've included here. There's something called a deep search. If you are looking for an item and Denver doesn't have it, none of your other libraries have it, there's this thing called Deep Search that Libby will automatically do, trying to find a library that has it in their collection. So that is sometimes useful. I personally don't use it a lot, but it is there. You can explore that. There's also a new feature called Notify Me. Maybe you have a favorite author and you want to know when their next book comes out. You can use the Notify feature to let you know when that new book is released or when the anticipated release date is. I'm not going to read over this slide. It's very detailed, but it's here if you want to come back and read it. Um, One question we get in the library a lot is, this is electronic. Why is there a wait list? Isn't it free to get these materials? Well, unfortunately, electronic media is not free. It actually is more expensive than the physical copies of books and audiobooks. So we have to pay a licensing fee for every copy of a book or audiobook that we have or a magazine. And this slide just goes into details, if you like that kind of information, about why there is sometimes a wait list and the items don't have unlimited use at any time. One big news item I'd like to share is that Denver Library is going to be getting Hoopla sometime this year. I don't know a month or a date yet. I just learned of this in a meeting I attended, but we will be getting Hoopla. And Hoopla also offers digital media, but sometimes the wait time is less because the library pays for each copy per use. So it's just a little bit of a different system, and that will give you even more opportunities to access e-media through Hoopla versus Libby. You can use them both. We'll still have Libby. Now, when you try to use Libby, if you run into any problem with it, you can always call any of the Denver library branches. We currently have 27, I believe. You can go into a library and explain what's happening, and we will help you. Overdrive also has a support feature. Overdrive is what operates Libby. Many of you may have used Overdrive before the Libby app came out. Libby is Overdrive, it's just a different interface. So you can go through Libby and Overdrive to get support that way. And then the library offers appointments with our digital navigators. These are one-on-one appointments for an hour, and it's a great way to learn how to use Libby, access other resources. And well, I have another slide about this. I'll go to the next slide. So our digital navigators are completely free. As I said, it's a 1 hour one-on-one appointment with you. If you want to bring a friend or a spouse or a family member, you're welcome to do that. We aren't going to say, oh no, this is only for you. So you can learn together. It's not formal instruction. They're very relaxed and formal meetings between you and the digital navigator. You come in saying, this is what I need help with. Bring a list if you want. So you can describe what you want to learn or what you're having trouble with, and they will help you in a private one-on-one appointment. They also can help connect you with resources if you would like to obtain your own laptop or other device. Excuse me. They can help you sign up for affordable internet and just learn all different aspects of technology. So it's not just for Libby, it really is any technology related issue that you would like help with. The digital navigator phone numbers and email are here on the slide. You can also access them through our website, or when you're in the library, we can give you a business card to hang on to. Digital navigator appointments are offered at the Hamden Library branch, where Jane and I work, and also throughout the city. So if there are other locations for you, you can go to any library. They also will do one-on-one appointments over the computer or phone. So if you can't get into a library, a virtual appointment is an option. Okay, we may come back to this. I am going to stop for a few minutes, and Jane is going to talk to you about other library resources. And then, depending on our time, we can come back to Libby and go into the website, or, definitely have a question and answer session. Okay, I'm going to pass this microphone to Jane.
Hello again, everybody. Um, I'm actually going to quickly run through these just in case we have any Q&As we want to get to about Libby. So, one of the great things that we have with the Denver Public Library is a newsletter for older adults. So you can sign up for this and it'll go straight to your email and it'll have blogs, services, and different resources that are within there. So that is what this picture is on the right side of the screen, is a little sample of our newsletter. There are a lot of virtual programs that we offer through the library, and they are also completely for free. And they go over a bunch of different things, such as like DIY groups on creative scrapbooking or different things like this, where it's very informational. We have a whole tab for older adults as well on the denverlibrary.org website. So you can kind of see here we have our events and classes on the side here, and then a lot of information and phone number for how you could get in contact with us and what is going on at the library. Another thing is that we have newsletters for a bunch of different services. So not only the older adult services, but we have newsletters that you can sign up for, such as different staff picks. If you're interested in Libby but aren't sure what to read, you could always check out that newsletter as well. And all of these different things for experiences or for kids, nonprofit news, and even special collections. And then we also have this. You can request a personalized reading list too if you want something that's even more pointed than the reading newsletter. With staff picks, you can fill out a form on our website and just discuss what kind of genre you're looking to read, and a librarian will be in touch with you over email to fine tune that list with you and give you suggestions. And then we also have home delivery service. So if you're not very into electronic media, but you would still like to engage with the library's collection, we do have home delivery. This is where a librarian or other library staff would come and bring your holds to you. And they would come, I think it's either once every couple weeks or once a month. You can decide how often. And they also wouldn't let your holds go for too long or let your books go for too long. So then you end up having latenesses on your account. So you guys can schedule that together. Um, so you'd email home delivery at denverlibrary.org to schedule the delivery and get in contact with them. There's also the phone number here that you could call. Okay. We also have museum and cultural passes in case you would like to access any of the other cultural institutions around Denver for free. You can get that through your library card as well. If you have people visiting, a lot of these museum passes too are good for more than one person. So each institution has different rules. For example, the Museum of Nature and Science, you can do this quarterly, but that ticket is for 7 folks.
That's just changed.
Oh, it's just changed. Okay, well, these things are changing, but you can always check all that out on our website on the Museum and Cultural Passes. Here, it gives you a list of all the different places you could get free tickets for, and we'll just go into the Butterfly Museum so you can see what that might look like. You'd see the dates and if they're available or unavailable. So, right now, the Butterfly Garden's booked up. So you can kind of get an example of that there. Oop, now my browser is okay. There we go. All
Uh,
right.
Jane, can I ask real quick? So that museum, so you can just click on those and just to clarify, so your card can get you in if it is available. Like you could pick a date and then
Yes,
get in with your card.
I'll see if I can
That's
find
very
one
cool.
where
I
it will
didn't
actually
know that.
be available. Let's try the Forney Museum of Transportation. Okay. So this one's
Those-
also booked up. Usually you can only see 2 weeks
Oh,
in
there we
advance.
go.
Okay, here we go. So the 13th, if you wanted to go to the Museum of Transportation for Valentine's Day, even you can put your library card number in here and then your password, and then you'd log in and be able to get those. And they would email you your passes, which you could print out, but you could also most of the time you can just show your email to the folks at the institution and they'll be able to pull up your ticket as well.
Wow, that's very cool. That's amazing. Thanks.
Yeah. But yeah, it makes it difficult because it is usually viewable within 2 week windows, so you can't book months and months in advance. So if you know you want to do something for a certain date, probably set reminders for yourself so you can look at those when you're within that window. All right, and that's it for my section, and I am
Oh, I think you froze for a minute. Jane or Elizabeth? Oh, no. I think we maybe lost them for a couple seconds. We'll give them a minute longer to see if they can come back on. The plus was I think we got through a great deal of information, mostly what we did want to do for this session. In case it doesn't work with they get to get back online and their internet is off. Um, One, I thought this was fantastic. It does look like they got off. Um, Tons of information. I will be sure to get all of this back out to you. This recording will go out as well as I will put that PowerPoint out to you as well. So you can ideally even have access to those links and learn a little bit more about each one of these programs. I found all of the programs fascinating. How great that you can also get books delivered to you. Again, thank you for joining us. I really do appreciate you being a part of this, and I do hope you take advantage of the public libraries, Colorado public libraries. Take advantage of